I've dealt with difficult people before, but nothing prepares you for pulling into your new driveway and being told to leave your own house. We had just arrived. Engine barely off. My wife was smiling. My kid was asleep in the back. And then she said it. You don't belong here. What she didn't know was that I owned the deed. We had been driving for hours. New city, new start, new life. The house wasn't huge, but it was ours. White fence, gravel driveway, a quiet piece of land just outside a neighborhood called Ridgewood Estates. Close enough to feel safe. Far enough to breathe. That mattered to me. Because I had checked everything before buying it. The survey. The boundary lines. The title. One detail stood out clearly. The property wasn't part of the HOA. No rules. No oversight. No one telling us what to do. That's why Karen standing in my driveway made no sense. She looked like she had been waiting. Arms crossed. Perfect posture. That look people have when they think they're in charge of everything. You need to turn around, she said sharply. This property belongs to my sister. I stepped out slowly. Calm. I think you're mistaken, I said. We closed on this house 2 weeks ago. She didn't even look at the papers in my hand. I'm the president of the HOA, she snapped. And I decide who belongs here. That's when I realized. She wasn't confused. She was used to winning. 10 minutes later, a patrol car rolled up. Karen talked first. Loud. Confident. Throwing words like trespassing and fraud around like she practiced them. I just handed over my documents. The officer read quietly, flipped a page, then another. Finally, he looked at her. He owns the property. Silence. Not just quiet, heavy silence. The HOA has no authority here, he added. Karen's face changed. Not embarrassment, something sharper. Like she had just lost control. This isn't over, she said before walking away. And right then, I knew it wasn't. The next morning, the first letter showed up. No stamp. No address. Just placed on the porch. You don't belong here. Leave. My wife read it twice. We just moved in, she whispered. I know, I said. And that's when it clicked. This wasn't random. This was planned. By the afternoon, the complaint started. Code enforcement showed up. Then environmental inspection. Then a tax inquiry. 3 different agencies. Same day. Too fast to be coincidence. So I did what I always do when something feels off. I started tracking patterns. Emails. Timing. Sources. And that's when everything lined up. All the complaints came from one IP address. One location. Across the street. The HOA office. Karen's office. That should have been enough to stop her. But it didn't. It made her escalate. More letters. More threats. One night, someone even came near our gate. Didn't break in, just watched. But by then, I had already installed cameras. Because something about Karen didn't feel like just control. It felt like desperation. A few days later, a neighbor knocked on my door. Older guy. Quiet. Nervous. You need to be careful, he said. Why? He hesitated, then handed me a flash drive. Because she's not just bossy, he said. She's dirty. That changed everything. Inside that drive was proof. Financial records. Payments. Transfers. Money going to accounts that didn't make sense. Expenses that didn't match reality. And one name that kept showing up. Her sister. The same sister she claimed owned my house. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about control. This was about money. Karen called an emergency HOA meeting 2 nights later. Perfect timing. She wanted a stage. A crowd. Control. I showed up with something better. Evidence. She started first. Talking about community values. Rules. Safety. Then she pointed at me like I didn't belong there. "This man is violating our neighborhood," she said. I didn't interrupt. I let her talk. Because people like her. They always talk too much. Then I stood up, opened my folder, and placed the document on the table. "Before we continue," I said calmly, "let's talk about where your HOA money is going." The room shifted instantly. You could feel it. Attention moved. Power moved. Control slipped. I showed the payments. The transfers. The connections. Then I said it clearly. This isn't enforcement. This is fraud. Someone in the room stood up. Then another. Then another. And just like that, Karen wasn't in control anymore. She tried to shut it down. Called it lies. Threatened legal action. But it was too late. Because once people see the truth, they don't unsee it. The investigation started within days. Official. Real. Not something she could control. And just like that, everything she built started collapsing. Her position? Suspended. Her accounts? Frozen. Her reputation? Gone. And the same neighborhood she tried to control turned on her. A few weeks later, everything was quiet again. No letters. No threats. No one standing in our driveway telling us to leave. Just peace. The kind we came here for. Looking back, it wasn't about the house. It wasn't even about Karen. It was about something bigger. Some people get a little power and think it belongs to them, until someone shows them it doesn't. So here's what I want to know. If you were in my place, would you have ignored her? Or done exactly what I did? White down pointing back hand index.